Hello, my name is Andrew Thake from Minds and Money. Delighted to be joined with us today by Shaun Bunn, who's the Managing Director for Empire Metals. Delighted to have you with us, Shaun.
Yeah, thanks very much, Andrew.
Shaun, for our listeners who don't know much about Empire Metals, can you tell us a little bit about the company?
Well, certainly. We are a AIM-listed but Australian-focused exploration company. We're predominantly looking for copper gold. We're working on copper gold assets here in Australia across 4 large-scale exploration camps. They're geologically diverse, geographically diverse, but we are advancing steadily across these 4 targets and moving towards our next big discovery.
And I understand that out of your projects, Pitfield is possibly the most interesting one. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Certainly. Pitfield is something that Pitfield is amongst a group of projects that we acquired earlier this year in around about April. So it's early days for these projects, but Pitfield is the one that we're currently really excited about and putting a lot of our energy into most recently. It is potentially a giant copper discovery, a province that we've unearthed, if you like. We've been flying airborne geophysics, electromagnetics, and airborne magnetics across this license. And what that's picked up is a large magnetic anomaly over 40 kilometers long, north-south. And around that anomaly, a large group of conductive type rocks have been highlighted. Looks like a Christmas tree when it lights up. And these two combined give us a lot of confidence that we're moving into an area that is, quite possibly the next big sedimented strata-bound copper deposit.
Okay.
So great excitement there.
And what upcoming milestones can potential investors expect, maybe over the course of the next 6 to 12 months?
So we've been putting out the information as we've been able to get on the ground at Pitfield. As I said, we've done the airborne geophysical surveys. We are now about to go back onto the ground and do geochemical mapping along those trends. Historically, there was a 7-kilometre copper anomaly found by CRA back in the 1990s. So we're going to go back in there and start to track that further to the south. There is an old copper mine to the north of the license area at the top of that 40K zone. And we're going to go back in there as well and start doing further geochemical mapping and geological mapping of the surfaces. The next big step, of course, we want to get back in there with some what we call induced polarization survey. So it's a conductivity survey, and we're looking for copper sulfide type loads that might be 40, 50 meters undercover. They won't be obvious at surface. And once we pinpoint those, we will drill. So it's a combination of systematically doing the work, getting onto the ground and making that discovery. We're moving forward as fast as we can.
So you've got a fantastic project, fantastic geology. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your management team. Perhaps tell us a little bit about your background first.
Well, firstly, I'm not a geologist. Most of the shareholders and people in the market will know that because I qualified as a metallurgist from the WA School of Mines.
Oh, wow.
Here in near Kalgoorlie. So I've had over 35 years of development, building up mining companies, building up projects, worked around the world. So I'm really comfortable with taking these projects, these early phase exploration projects, all the way through to development, and that's ultimately our one of the options that we've got to consider once we make a discovery. Our team, I'm pleased to say, we do have some absolute exceptional exploration geologists on the team, starting with our chairman, Neil O'Brien, Dr. Neil O'Brien. So he was the exploration director at London Mining. and has spent a lot of time working on large, giant copper deposits around the world. The other key guy we have at the moment in the team is a guy called Ed Baltus. Now, Ed was the Senior Vice President for Goldfields Exploration Division, and also prior to that worked in a company called Western Mining, which is now part of the BHP group. So got two really heavyweight exploration guys, and we back that up with a few other geologists that we have from on part-time basis.
And tell us a little bit about your shareholders and your investors. Who are your key ones?
We've got a majority of our shareholders being AIM listed, London based and starting there. Obviously, the majority of our shareholder base is out of the UK, some in Canada, small amount in Australia, but most of our shareholding base is retail. So we've got a number of the retail type groups, broking groups, and interactive investors, Hargraves, a few others such as that. We do have some some of the funds coming in, some of the corps, but our view is at the moment that we're going to continue to generate lots of news flow. We've got good liquidity, so we're pretty happy with the way that the market responds when we actually can get out and get some news flow out there.
Mm-hmm. You just mentioned that obviously you're listed on AIM. That's quite interesting because obviously, a few Australian-based miners are listed on AIM. Can you tell us a little bit about your decision-making process to list on AIM?
Well, that's where the company originated. So in a former life, the company had assets. We still hold assets in Austria, gold and silver, base type metal assets there that we originally were looking to explore and develop. And as a consequence of many years of moving around in those sort of jurisdictions, the company came to a strategic decision that we would be better served by moving into the Australian mining industry, if you like, and explore here, predominantly because here in Australia you've got security over your assets, you've got a clear path to production. If you discover something, you can take it all the way through to development. And so we're eliminating a lot of the political, geopolitical, country risk. And effectively what we're left with is basically exploration risk. Mm-hmm. And we're tackling that, if you like, with this diversification of our portfolio. We've got scale. We've got over 1,728 square kilometres of exploration camp across the 4 big targets. We're looking at copper, gold. We're actually now looking to add a few other options to that, to that portfolio on these licenses. So, I think we've done a great job in lowering the, both the commercial and technical risks that the company has to deal with. And really just focusing now on getting the money that we have, into the ground and adding value at the drill bit.
Mm-hmm. And one last question is, at the event in London, a lot of people will be talking about sustainability and ESG. What are Empire Metals' ESG credentials?
Well, we, again, being focused now within Australia and within the Australian mine industry. So firstly, we are an exploration, company. So we're well and truly working with the local land owners and users. So if you look through the way the Australian system works, if it's Crown land, then we obviously will be working with the Aboriginal groups that have title, if you like, to those particular regions. We work many times through pastoralists, through graziers, people who have sheep or even crop. So we work very closely with these current landowners that we would then work on a land access agreement and cooperate, spend our efforts trying to make sure we manage the not only the environmental aspects, but their commercial interests as well. But equally, we have other stakeholders, the regulations require us very carefully to complete all of the rehabilitation work we need to do within 6 months of completing activities. So it's a framework, if you like, that provides us with confidence that we are working alongside all of the stakeholders and doing that in a sustainable manner. And it's a framework that allows us to be very clear and communicate that, I guess, to our shareholders, that, you know, in doing this, we are meeting all of those critical you know, hurdles and important protocols, if you like, that make sure that the company you know, is environmentally sustainable. It is socially working to the benefit of the local communities.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Shaun. Empire Metals sounds like a really fantastic company. I would really encourage any investors listening in to check out Empire Metals. Once again, that was Shaun Bunn, Managing Director of Empire Metals, with Andrew Thate from Minds and Money.